Staffing summary of the national government. Staffing Department of Foreign Affairs, Secretary Perfecto Yasay Jr.
Ulo ah. Ulo.
Please stand. Department of Justice, Secretary Italiano Aguirre. Department of Labor and Employment, Secretary Silvestre Bellew III. Department of Public Works, Secretary Mark Villar. Office of the President, Presidential Spokesperson and Press Secretary, yours truly, Salvador Panelo. Executive Secretary Salvador Mediel. OPAC, or Peace Panel Secretary Jesus Doreza. National Security Advisor, El Mujeres Esperon. Secretary to the Cabinet, Leoncio B. Vasco Jr. Department of Agriculture, Secretary Emmanuel Piñol. Department of Energy, Secretary Alfonso Cusi. Department of Finance, Secretary Carlos Dominguez. Department of Transportation and Communications, Secretary Artur Gade. Department of the Interior and Local Governments, Secretary Mike Sueno. Department of National Defense, Secretary Miguel Delfin Lorenzana. Department of Science and Technology, Secretary Fortunato de la Pena. Department of Social Welfare and Development, Secretary Judy Aguiwalo. Department of Agrarian Reform, Rafael Mariano. Department of Budget and Management, Secretary Benjamin Diokno. Department of Education, Secretary Leonor Briones. National Economic and Development Authority, Director General Ernesto Pernilla. As to the Bureau and other offices, Department of the Interior and Local Governments, Under Secretary for Police Matters, Catalino Cuy. Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency of PDEA, Isidro La Peña. National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, NICA, Alex Monteagudo. National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, Ricardo Halal. Bureau of Immigration and Deportation, Jaime Morente. Bureau of Customs, Nicanor Aldon. Bureau of Internal Revenue, Attorney Cesar Dulay. Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, LTFRB, Attorney Martin Delgra. Land Transportation Office, or LTO, Edgar Galpante. National Bureau of Investigation, Dante Giran. Office of the Solicitor General, Attorney Jose Calida. Presidential Assistant for Visayas, Michael Dino. This is all. May we call the President for whatever queries or inquiries you would want to address him?
Boss, ulo. Boss.
Salamat Sal. My co-workers in government, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a simple job if you're looking for the composition of the cabinet. I am just reminded of that man holding a lamp during the time when the sun was bright, and he was going around with the lamp, and somebody asked him, "Why are you bringing a lamp in the daylight time when you can see everything?" And he said, "Because I'm looking for an honest man." And took me several days of, when I'm not around really in the public eye, I'm there reviewing the papers of the recommendees. And I can assure you that they are all men of integrity, honesty. Wala akong nakitang talagang bahad yan na isa't sa kanila. Otherwise, automatic ayaw ko na. Para wala akong problema. Now, wala kaming, I do not intend to really interfere in their work. I will just follow what I'm doing here in Davao City, and it is best exemplified by my behavior towards the police. The mayor has the right to choose his chief of police, and for all the time, I did not really exercise that option. I would just only say to Krami, bigyan mo lang ako ng sundalo na marunong magtrabaho, and that's it. No, and it becomes, and I said, you're the chief of police or city police director, ayusin mo yung trabaho mo, and you'd never get any interference. Or there will never be a time that I would ask my co-workers in government to do the wrong thing. Ano na loko lang. Even to make adjustments to just favor one. I assured the country and the businessmen community that I will really level the playing field. Di ako makikialam, ang gusto ko lang na walang reklamo yung tao. But I have a few suggestions. For example, I do not want people queuing. I want people to be given some sort of stab given to him for him to come back on a certain day to get his papers. I would transfer the pattern dito sa national. 3 days kasi dito ang permit mo. Whether it is approved or disapproved, it has to be let out after 3 days. Pag more than that, then you cannot release the papers anymore. But you have to send it to a table with an explanation why it took you more than 72 hours to operate. Sa cabinet members, I will insist. Kasi sa NEDA, I have this bad experience. I have that, train going on. Hindi lang pala ibibigay, iba ang recommendation ng JICA. Well and good, if it could help in Davao City, I'll accept it. Wala na akong problema dyan. But took them about 3 years. Alam mo sa I've been buying so many computers to the millions and it is not really being utilized with maximum efficiency. It's there, placed there to make it easy for you to even project how many days na. Kaya tignan mo lang doon, pag submit, there must be a ledger. I don't care what kind of document is that. It could be with the defense, it could be with the DOTC, or it could be the DA. Pag may application dyan, there must be a ledger, a revoke. Tapos, ang magsulat talaga, ang empleyado receiving the papers or documents. I received from Rodrigo Duterte the following papers pertinent to his application, tapos papirmahin mo. But, ayaw ko gamitin ninyo yan, kasi you can erase or change that. I do not want that kind of thing. Then pag-aralan mo doon sa computer ninyo yung workload, and in how many days can you expect to finish the thing that is asking permit, whatever, concession, and you give him the staff na may security, may security bar. Be back on this day at this hour, you will receive your papers. Walang follow-up. I do not want, if you want to see how abusive this government is, pumunta kayo naman ngayon at the back of SM. Diyan nakikita mo sa pavement leading to the door or to the gate of the establishment itself. Yan, nakikita mo, natutulog yan sila. Papel lang, pakikarton. That's how miserable the Filipino is. Eh kung gano'n, bakit hindi maglagay ang DFA? Ay, asi-asay na una. Lahat ng siyudad. Matter of computer. Mabilis mo kaya yung computer. You connect, and you are everywhere, and they know it. So what's the problem? Why do people have to queue coming in days? Because it's first come, first served. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan bakit hindi sa karoon sa isang syudad o lahat ng syudad. It's just a matter of connecting to the central office. You have the computers already and ang LTO. So I don't think that mag-apply lang ng sa census, everything. You go to Manila for the statistics and you get the original of your birth certificate or marriage and you have to wait the whole of the week. Gano'n lang. Pag din niya doon, fast. So latin mo lang, anong kanya? To retrieve the copies of his birth certificate. Okay. So, pero man, tapos na. I do not want people queuing. I do not want people spending money just to get something from government. For the simple reason na bayad na kami. So why do you have to spend? Gumagastos ka na nga eh. You pay your taxes every time you buy gasoline, buy anything. Actually, may resibo yan. Kasali yan sa bayad namin. So I just want to stress, I don't want to be heroic here. I just want honesty and good faith in dealing with the public. Gusto ko lang. So, ganito yan eh. Sa mga opisina sa BIR, opisina ng Customs, opisina ng LFTRB, yan, puro corrupt yan. Ang highway, hindi ko si Mark, ang highways, ang pinungulang corruption yan, si Cabral lang yung babae, undersecretary. Lahat yan corrupt na. Police ganun rin. Tumatanggap lahat ang police, lahat ng generals. Depende sa source. Depende sa source. Yung mga police kasi na medyo matino, tanggap sir, ito yung kasi ganito yan eh. From the chief PNP director, president yan. Kung sinong ilagay mong regional director, magbigay yan sa kanya. Ito ng regional director, ang assignment niya, sinong malagay dyan sa police director. Ito magbigay sa kanya para doon. Kunti, progression. Ito naman sa police station, may tawag na pakawalaan. Yung sabi niya kung mag-transfer, kaya bawal na ngayon mag-transfer ang army o police na magdala-dala ng kanyang staff. Eh kasi akala ko organization niya, punta ka lang doon sa saan ka na i-transfer, saan ka na ilagay. You really don't have to bring the whole about 15 or 30 persons when you assume for another assignment. Why? Lalo na sa police, yan tawag ng pinakawalaan kung nagbabad. Yan. Yun yung maglakad sa gabi, lahat ng illegal, wrong parking, ganon, he has to earn because he has to give to the station commander. O the pressing commander, meron siyang ibigay doon sa chief of police. The chief of police now has to give something to the regional commander, and the regional commander must give to the... Ganon yan. So, wala na yung transfer na dala-dala yung mga kawatan niya. No such thing. I will not allow it. I said, it has to stop. Kaya sabi ko, long time ago when I was talking about certain things of our work in government, I did say something similar. It has to stop. The country can no longer afford. Ayaw na rin ng tao. And they have shown it by the mandate that I got during the last election. I'm sure that it is very clear to everybody that the reason why I got the most of the votes is because kilala rin ako. Hindi ganun. At sa Rodrigo, nakakilala sa mukha ko. It was during that campaign that I was exposed physically. Bakit sila bumoto sa akin giving me 6 million mandate? It's simply because na hindi ako from the outside, being just a mayor of a small city in Mindanao. Ang kalaban ko, they're all national, even Badbinay, because he had the exposure. So it could only mean one thing. There's a message for that, and the people really do not want corruption. They do not want their money being put inside the pocket of workers in the government. I will be harsh. I will be harsh. Basta corruption, I will be harsh. And I'm telling everybody, and I'm sending somebody to the Supreme Court, I really do not know kung sino kausapin doon, to stop this practice of the judiciary, TRO ng TRO. And you cannot implement the project, you cannot go ahead with even if there is the advice already, because there is a TRO. And the TRO simply means money for the judges. They have to stop it. Wala tayong basta everything, when I certify as president that everything is okay, pag mag-go signal ako, ibig sabihin yan, walang korupsyon. That no money changes hands there. And hindi kayo maniwala, wala akong pakialam. Basta pagkaalam ko, pinili ako ng Pilipino para dito sa trabaho ito. And sad to say, I was elected not because they want me really as a president, but simply to put stop sa crime, corruption, and drugs. Now dito ngayon sa I am ready, even now, may 3 million, I pay 3 million ako sa mga drug lords. Ang susundin lang nila, I'm sure that the entire Philippines is listening, ang problema lang nila is gaano kadali. But I'm not saying that you kill them, but the order is dead or alive. Ngayon sabi nitong mga of course the unbelieving media, I'm taking the law into my own hands. No, I'm not. 4 years they study on the 2 basic course. They are lectured upon and they learn a lot. It's a subject sa kanilang turo when to kill and when not to kill. When is it legal to kill? When is it unlawful to take another man's life? Pagka sinabi kong dead or alive, alam nila kung tumaas ang kamay, talagang alive yan. Pagka lumaban, dead yan. I do not want to say a dead policeman there or an agent, whatever. Kaya sinabi ko rin na dito, I appointed Giran, the director of the NBI dito sa atin. And I saw him work for several years already. Sabi ko, ilagay kita dyan. Pero kung sa isang kondisyon, na kung may ahente ka, you have an agent there nakakalat into drugs, and it comes to a fight, I want you to kill him personally. I want you to do the killing. Yeah. Kasi sa iyo ko ibigay yung 3 million. Yan, na itong itong supervising, itong supervising drogista, you get about 2. Ngayon, kung medyo sa second echelon lang yan, branch na 1 million. 1 million yung kana. Supervising, tapos yung next, yung mini supervisor, yung nasa parang bangko na. Di ba dito sa Davao mayroong supervising sa bangko nila, oh. Yung mga manager sa bangko nila, yun, mga ano na lang yun, mga 1 million. And yung ordinaryo, 50 million. There's enough money left. I do not want to get hold of it for too long. Basta ako sabi ko may pera. Hindi ko ninakaw. Wala, hindi kasali, hindi Trillanes yan. Bago lang yan. Just before the election. Yan ang gamitin ko. I'll dispose of that money. Ngayon na, sabihin ko, total maabutan pa ninyo yung kaso. Ngayon ako kayo mga BI lahat, Army, because I am, papasokin ko ang Army. Papasokin ko, kulang ako ng tao. And they will have a very specific. Hanapin yung mga polis na nagdodruga rin. Kaya kung kabaro ninyo, ayaw ninyo mga Army. O Navy ang gamitin ko. I will put to use the armed forces of the Philippines. Para kayo mga polis, hindi kayo din. O general ka, tawagin ko yung private sa Army. Barilin mo. Ganoon lang ang paraan para minto ang droga. Ayaw ninyo kasi, I said, ang problema nito, ladies and gentlemen, my ending, ng mga reparty ako, but the ending remark was, do not destroy my country because I will kill you. Do not destroy the youth of the land, our children, because I will kill you. And every hunt now, yung lahat na may kaso, nag-jump bail. Yung mga drogista na, alam mo, maariglo, they have the quantity already. Tapos, sabihin na lang, palutsin, sige, kumakang mag-plead guilty ka na lang para makalabas ka. Tapos, using the probation. I will ask Congress to remove probation from the operation dito sa operation of law sa mga drugs. At saka isa yung palabas ko sa drunken driving, especially if it results in a killing of a person. Alam mo dito sa Pilipinas walang nahuli. And they continue using the streets parang nagkakarera as if they own. Pagka under influence ka tapos namatay, sentensyahan ka ng 3 months, even not just 3 months, but you must go into jail. I will remove it from the ambit of the probation law. Yan ang ano ninyo eh, kasi mag-probation lang kayo, report kayo, no? At this time, you go to jail. Maximum, minimum mo, sabihin ko Congress, minimum ko is 2 years and 1 day up. It's really murder. Yang high. You know that you will kill a person if you drive and you go down the lane screeching. So yung mga anak ng mga mayaman, karamihan, nagkakarera sila. Dito noon, nahinto dito sa Davao, kasi sabi ko, kuparan ko kayo, tawagin ko ang media. I'll strip you naked and I'll ask the media to. Ganon lang ang naiintindihan. Hinto. Ganon lang ang naiintindihan ninyo. The other extreme, may martial law wala yan. Cannot improve. But as a matter of fact, really, we cannot improve what ails this country by just killing people. Totoo. We've been killing so many Filipinos for no reason. Sometimes yung ideology, it comes to a crazy. Tayong kahapon, sinustage yung isang police, pati chief of police sa Inaroso sa NPA. May I ask them now, kung nakikinig sila, release the chief of police. Kung wala lang namang kasalanan, release them immediately. Kindly. So, what else? What needs to be done? Any question? 2 minutes lang, uwi na kami. Wala na, tapos na 2 minutes.
Release them kindly, and if not, what happens?
I'll go to the mountains and get them.
Will the cabinet also be working 1 p.m. to 12 midnight like your working hours?
No. 1 p.m. ako sa hapon. I have to get 8 hours of sleep. Yung matatandang iba, sabi na mga matanda, hindi na mahilig sa mahilig sa tulog.
Oo, dinala niya.
Ako, may hilig pa ako sa iba. Di matulog ako 1 hour. 8 hours ako kung di maluya. No, if I am doing something like now, look, in Malacanang. So there are papers which have to be signed, documents which has to be signed by the President. Kaya ng Mayor. Alam mo ako, abogado ako, just do not, i-flip ko lang yan, tapos karbohan ko. No. It ain't that way, baby. You have to read. You have to read. So, maabutan ako, at maybe at one point, 12:30 ng shower, madali mo akong tulog, sinagalaklak ako. Alit mo rin ako. Totoo yung pagtulog. Tulog, masaya, tulog na din. I wake up, trabaho. Launa hanggang alas 7, alas 8. Tapos tulog ka, paggising mo, trabaho. Tapos ganon. Gano'n yan, buwan-buwan. Tapos pagdating sa reporting ninyo, Duterte, mali, bla. Kasi pag na-presidente na, wala ka ng tamang ginawa. That's the sad reality of it all. Lalabas yung mga ego ng egotism ng mga, the unexpressed desire of what would also, what they like would happen to them.
Mayor, Mr. President, this is already how many percent of the supposedly cabinet
Halos nandiyan ang lahat.
80 or 85%?
Dalawa na lang. Wala na. Tapos na.
Another question is,
Ano na lang, yung wala dito, I'm waiting. DOT, DNR, I am going, kasi concession to the left. DNR, ang tourism. Wala pa, meron pa, pero I'm nire-review ko yung ano nila. They have so many recommendations. This is, pati yung Moro, iha. There will be an equal, it's really an inclusive government. Sa health, meron ako sana kanina, but I need to talk to the nominee, supposedly. So, kasi kung hindi ko nakuha, pahiya tao. Na.
Sir, can you give us details of your bounty, sir? Yung sa 3 million, can you give us more details of that? How would it work? Saan yung source ng funding? Tsaka isend it...
Source ng funding. Sinabi ko, it's my possession. Di ako sobra. So, election yun. Bakit ko i-report doon sa election na hindi man kanila yan, hindi man rin akin? Gastuhin ko.
Gano'n kalaki yung buong budget, sir? Kasi sabi yung 3 million.
Iuwi ko.
Sir, gano'n kalaki yung buong pot? Kasi 3 million, di ba? Tsaka isend it pag security forces kayo, you don't have to be rewarded by doing your job.
I could go as far as maybe 100 persons. What? 100 persons dead?
Sir, ilan yung appointees suggestions coming from
Sueno, pinipilaban. Yung mga left, pinipilaban niya sila lahat. Sa pinipilaban mag-vote, diba ng kaliwa? Have you noticed it? Yung may take ito, remember ito? Kaliwa.
Mr. President,
Bakit yung magtaka ng kaliwa ako?
Sir, with due respect po sa mga appointments po natin, sir, meron kasi nagiging criticism or comments po na contrary daw doon sa tagline nila changes kasi dati narito sila kumawag ng mga positions.
Good that you asked that question. Was supposed to bring it up to you, ako na mismo. Ganito yan eh. A cabinet member is an alter ego of the president. An alter ego. So, he must be one whom I trust, whom I'm confident that I could work well. Now, sinasabi nila, kababayan, kasama, kabarkada. No, they are not. Wala, hindi ko kabarkada. I didn't know him. Reason why? Probinsyano ako. Ang sphere of influence ko, or my sphere of, my comfort zone, is really Davao City. At Davao City, nakakakilala kami. Then, punta akong Maynila, nasa dormitoryo ako. So, ang karamihan na close akin, I do not attend parties. I was never asked to join any mga dibo-dibo o despedida dyan sa mga mayaman. Hanggang sine lang ako, pati kantin. Ano po, sa Dibar, umuwi na naman ako dito. So, ang nakilala ko, yung mga classmate ko, pati yung mga brand ko, pati yung mga taga San Beda, pati taga Davao. So, yun yung ang crowd ko. I can only pluck in a very pluck the membership of the cabinet from a small area. Kagaya ni Secretary Joke, no? Hindi naman kailangan niya because he has been secretary and is good. Kasi believe ako sa kanya, nandiyan siya, Secretary Briones. I mean, by herself, she's an institution. So why do I have to go around picking people na marami? Carlos Dominguez III, he was the PAL president many years ago. Tapos he was the agriculture secretary of, he was my classmate hanggang grade 2. Valedictorian niya ang perme. Artugade. He's not really my kababayan, he comes from Tugigaraw. But I know him because he was sa San Pedro, he was valedictorian. Lahat yan nila valedictorian. Alam mo ito si Delphin Lorenzana. He used to command yung director dito, mayor pa ako. Tap, ito, you ask Kibuloy. Classmate yan sila sa Cotabato City. Ang pala dito nasa kanilang klase si Lorenzana. Hindi ko yung kinuha because of Brian. Hindi ko sundalo ko. Hindi ko kailangan sundalo. Sige lang patay. Defense Secretary has to know that there's always a time to talk peace and a time to wage war. Sino ngayon ang medyo mahina? Yung amo nila, 75 lang. Okay naman.
Mr. President, sir, how big is the possibility?
Bakit? This more si Baidan is light colonel yan sa Marines. No, si Trillanes, hindi yung po yun.
Mr. President, sir, you said that you want to be hands-on on peace and order. How big is the possibility that you might hold a cabinet position yourself? Or any agency
No.
in government?
Ako?
Opo.
To hold yun na. Sila lang magtrabaho. Tulog lang muna. So, hindi madali magkampanya. Gano'n mo.
Mr. President. Mr. President.
No, there should be a meeting every week. Wala yan. They are working sa daytime. May work hours yan, 8 to 5, whatever. Yes, or Sabado. Pagka,
Sunday is family day for them.
bakit sa kanila lang, gaga? Pati sa, ako muna. Mahimik ka dyan?
Mr. President. Mr. President.
Saturday na, yung pag nabagin ko na Saturday, sir, there's no such thing as screening, sir. It's all you, sir. Can you walk us through the selection process?
In the first place, there was no selection sa kabinete. Maybe dyan sa baba. At itong mga critical or crucial immigration, NBI, LFTRB, yung mga corrupt opisina, ako na mismo ang kumuha. Pwede yan. Diyan ka, yan, magsawa ta. Pero taga-Davao, kilala naman nyo si John Lapenia. Mahuwasan talaga.
Mr. President, how will you deal with cabinet secretaries who are non-performing? Sir, I'm here. Will you be giving them a deadline?
Napansin ka talaga sa atin.
Mr. President.
Sir, can I get an answer, please?
Huwag mo tayo ganito. Malayo ang tinig. Ano?
Sir, how will you be dealing with cabinet secretaries who are non-performing? Will you be giving them a deadline? Like for example, 6 months to perform, and if they do not give you
No,
this
lahat ito,
performance?
fortunately for me, yung trabaho nito, galing na ito sa bakbakan na trabaho. For example, defense. Ito si Lito, laking sundalo to. So, dumaan ng bakbakan niya. Sa kanya, chicken na lang yan. Ayun ngayon, is armed forces. He's the only one. Kaya ako pinauwi ko si, I requested. There were two of them. Si Admiral Wong sa Navy, which I courted for several days. Ayaw talaga because ayaw ng pamilya. And naiintindihan ko because alam mo kasi itong mga army, malayo yan sila sa pamilya nila. When they work outside of Manila. They are either assigned here. So they seldom get to be really together and babanding. So yung mga anak na naiintindihan ko, lalo yung mga babae, ayaw na talaga. Papawag na. So kaya kilala ko yan sila lahat. Mga trabahante talaga to. So wala nang problema sa non-performing. May ang delikado, over-performing. Hanggang magkasakit.
Mr. President, the situation we would like to ask you because under the doctrine of political agency, the act of your cabinet is
Correct.
Now, considering that you have actually done your best to give the Filipino people the best.
There is that.
Yeah.
In my estimation.
Yes, so Mr. President, we would like to ask, up to what extent would you hold on in case, because as of now, your cabinet secretaries are still under temporary position, meaning to say if you would now hold your office, these cabinet secretaries need CA confirmation.
Yes.
Now, we would like to ask if ever other parties might not want to confirm your cabinet secretaries, how far and how long are you willing to stand for them? Because the Filipino people are very grateful because you have actually the best in terms of integrity, honesty, and quality. But if the other parties, you know, during the past administration, the secretaries, when they would act, the president would immediately disown the acts which actually, because of some reason.
It was a bad practice actually. I'm sure referring to Aquino. There were a lot of instances in the past where there were things performed by the secretaries. Ang problema dyan was that he understood what was communicated to him, or he left entirely in the hands of the secretaries the things that he wanted to do. Wala nang sans the protocol of letting the president know. Ngayon, having said that, answering your question about the selection, which was to be approved by the Commission on Appointments, madali lang. Objectan mo siya ka na. Ay, di pa ako tapos eh. Baka, isa ka pa. Mamahilig ka na lang. Tumahimay ka dyan. Wala, I will not answer you because you are our business.
Mr. President,
Kami sabihin ko sa kanila, bakit? What's wrong with Lorenzana? Or what's wrong with Sonny Dominguez? Or what's wrong with Jokmo? Bakit? Mayroon ba kayo, do you know somebody who can replace niya? Kaya gusto ninyo kayo magturo, di kayo na ang presidente. Sige, wala tayong problema dyan. Ayaw ninyo na, o di sige.
Mr. President,
Or would you rather that they appoint without submitting their names to the commission appointments? Or after they are bypassed, then I reappoint them? Would not that be a crazy thing to do?
Mr. President,
What about PCSO?
Yan.
One of the most...
Nanghanap, ito. Ang PCSO is into illegal, the office itself, PCSO, is into illegal and legal. Sinabay na nila yan. Pinalusot na nila, gumagala ng gano'n, no?
Mr. President,
I need somebody to fix that agency.
So you have somebody, or have you talked to somebody, or you have anybody?
Wala pa, naghanap ako. Naghanap ako ng Verdugo talaga, sa totoo lang.
Mr. President,
Naghanap ako ng Verdugo.
sir, what is the agenda of the earlier meeting?
Ito mo na si Pierre kasi itong si Raptor na to.
Mr. President,
Okay, ito muna ka, ito.
Mayor, maybe what happened to your talks with Gibachador? Because I understand he didn't really decline, but are you saying now he declined, or maybe you just
I
decided?
appointed Lorenzana, so definitely yes. No, kasi mahirap pa siya magsabi direkta yan, harap-harapan, ayaw ko. Maybe, if I were in issues, I would also defer to that kind of behavior. Kasi, presidente na ako, and you know, hindi naman, not because I am I, but because I carry the burden of, especially Filipino. It's a mandate na rin. Kaya pagka ano, you have to defer. Presidente yan. Parang kaya mayor. Ngayon mayor lang masyado nag-ano. But when I was mayor, I was quite strict already. I was strict when I was a prosecutor. I was doubly strict when I was mayor.
Mr. President,
Mr. President.
what is the agenda pinag-usapan ko kanina sa meeting ninyo with the CAPSEX?
About what?
What was the earlier...
Wala, guidelines lang. Gaya ng ganito, ganyan. But, hindi ako mag-micro manage. Bahala na kayo, gano'n ako. Basta, sagutin mo lang ako kung may bulyaso, bakit nakaganon.
Sir, sa PSG, nagkausap na ba kayo? Nagkasundo na kayo? Paano yung working hours mo? Dito ka ba talaga? Bakit ka naman talaga sa Davao, Manila?
Ano gawin ko dyan sa Malacanang yawa na yun? But I can work here as a president. There's not, there's no law which is specific that, you know, I have to work in Manila. But I said, ang comfort zone ko is Davao. Maybe, magtiis na lang muna ako. Sabi ko nga, kung ikaw that's my advice. Kung sino niyang gusto presidente.
Mr. President,
Wala kang makuha.
the broadband situation and the traffic situation in Manila, and also the electricity problem here in the Philippines, can that be considered as a state of emergency?
No, yung incoming secretary sa DOTC has plans of how to do it in fastest possible way. It is not time for us to know about it. It's just a proposal. It's quite radical, and maybe I will adapt it. He's preparing some working papers for me to read for me, and I will decide.
Thank you.
But if it's a matter of crisis, there is a crisis.
Mayor, on June 30, will you go straight back to Davao after your inauguration, or will you stay in Manila already?
Why are you so interested about getting back immediately? So what's the point? Why? Let me ask you.
Yes, sir. Because if you're staying in Manila, is it back to work immediately? Will you immediately get?
It depends. It depends on there are problems which I have to attend to personally sa Manila, or the problem can be brought to Davao by LBC. yung madala ko na I can solve, I can study the matter here, review the documents and papers, and whether or not I can solve the problem by just using the smart or low.
Sir, are you still serving any cabinet position for the Vice President like
Can
Napsi?
you see in your
Alam mo, wala ako talaga. I am non-committal ako dyan. You know why? Kilala ko si Bongbong Marcos. I do not want to hurt him. Ayaw ko naman na si Lene, she should understand that he belongs to the opposite side. Well, there is no law which says that it's a compelling reason for her to be a member of the cabinet.
even if she's coming to see you?
It's not becoming to me. Gano'n baka maghingi siya. Speculative. Is it symbolic of it is as if you are asking for a position by being here?
No, it's just this point, she's going to pay you a cost.
I will pay her back.
So you go to her place.
Oh yeah.
Sir, do you have a meeting set with the Vice President-elect?
No.
But what role do you see her doing or performing in your administration? What kind of Vice
We
President?
are still studying the script of the movie.
Mr. President, I remember some 20 years ago during your first term as mayor, you said, you criminals, drug lords, drug addicts, you go away from Davao City or I will kill you. But now you are president, where are you going to bring?
The title of being mayor to the presidency might be different, but I have the same mouth.
Sir, are you reserving any particular...
Wala talaga akong, sinasabi ko na sa inyo, galit ako sa droga. Galit talaga ako sa droga.
Sir, are you reserving any position for Bongbong Marcos after 1 year?
No, he never also asked for it. Well, I promised him. Pero kaya nakakita ako ng parang acting capacity si John. Wala ka namang ginawa pala, but he's actually professor sa university, visiting professor to sa western side of the United States.
Mr. President, do you already have in mind with whom to take your oath on June 20?
Maybe justice, surely. Justice talaga ng Supreme Court yan. Nothing, nobody in particular. Nobody in particular.
Mayor.
Sir, what's the marching order for the entire cabinet? How will they make you feel satisfied?
Ano itong one? USB? You listen to this very carefully. This is actually the guideline for all. Those corrupt, those who are not corrupt, and it is directed sa Pilipino. Tugtugin mo nga yung ano. May lullaby ako dyan. That's right. Yeah, sa'yo kong kininig.
Mamuno para sa pagbabago, sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tapo. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon.
Sige, tugtog mo.
Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo. Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago. Masdan mo ang paligid, alamak mga krimen, rape, droga at mga nakawan, dapat nang mapigilan. Ayaw na Pilipinas, ayaw na bago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo. Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Why am I here? I am here because I love my country and I love the people of the Philippines.
Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat kay Rodrigo. Duterte, para sa tunay na pagbabago.
Sundalo ko yan. Tiyan mo rin. Gloria Arroyo. Sinabi ko noong campaign period na I will let her go. I immediately after the election sabi ko, I will offer you pardon. Sabi niya, you know, Rodi, pardon involves also the act of admitting or confessing to the crime. Because you have to be a sinner to be pardoned. Ayaw niya. Basta at least tapos na. Nandito kay, tama na yung zero. Dito naman kay, wala appointment trabaho. Hindi na magtrabaho niya. Is it complete na way what you work for me?
Sir, earlier you said, it sounded like you said as if because BBM will be hurt, you won't be giving Lenny a cabinet position. So, isn't that putting friendship or politics over government?
No, she will not accept it, I'm sure. They're just bird talk, yeah.
She said wala kayong support with you.
As si Lenny? No. I'm just being, being nice. Baka. Baka, una ko sinabi, she will be appointed. Sabi ko, baka.
Pero sir, earlier you said that you don't want to hurt BBM's feelings and that's why you don't want to give her any position yet. It sounds like you're putting friendship over, governance. Can you react to that?
What friendship?
Sir, you just said kasi baka ma-hurt si Marcos. So it
No. Tama ka. Si Marcos, gusto mo talagang malaman? Kaibigan ko si Marcos.
Exactly, sir.
O kaya nga.
Friendships over...
No, that is the political reality we told. Do you know that my father was a cabinet member of the late father? So, you know.
Sir, can I ask a question about Sabbah?
And besides, I won sa Ilocos Norte. No, tingnan mo na lang ang resulta sa Pilipinas kung saan ako natalo. Miserably.
What are we expecting? So that's what are we expecting of your relationship with Lenny to be like? What are we going to expect your relationship with Lenny to be like if this is how it's
Well, probably like ice. A lot was happening now between us. Multi-preposterous. Outlandish.
Sir, we'd just like to confirm if there are any choice for Senate presidency, sir. Senator Cynthia Villar said that implied, sir, earlier that possibly Senator Alan Cayetano can be chosen as Senate President?
I have not. Hindi ako nag-interview na. Kung tanong ka maski sino, I have not made any call, signed any document supporting anybody. Ayaw ko kasi hindi ko, I never know who'll win. I do not want to join the scramble there.
What you said was you're going to leave it to them to Senate.
Yes, to each and every senator. Wala akong ano.
Sir, you previously mentioned you wanted to abolish BIR, customs, but
Yes.
we have them
Yes.
your marching orders to them.
Yes, if I could have a reorganization government, I will. Because mahirap tanggalin yung mga, ano dyan mga career. They have the civil service eligibility to protect them. Mabuti lang sana kung hindi corrupt. But almost all of them there are corrupt, sad to say. Meron akong mga kaibigan dyan, pero wala kang tayo magawa, trabaho lang to.
So what would you want your secretaries to do, sir, on that? BIR, customs?
But we have the BIR, Atty. Dulay. Ewan ko si Atty. Dulay, trabaho na niya. Ayaw ko kaya, so ask him kung paano niya kuliktahin.
Sir, about the Sabbah claim, sir.
Umpisa ka sa simbahan. Kasi dalhin lang na rin ang pare yan, wala mo rin mangyari dyan.
So there is a reaction from, can I have your reaction about the statement from the Malaysian Prime Minister about not to ignite the dispute in Sabbah? What is your policy about Sabbah?
Anything, that we stick with the original position of the government. Nothing has changed.
So
Nothing has changed.
are you going to pursue the Sabbah?
Yes, I said, but only by peaceful means. We do not have the luxury of getting into trouble and war. We cannot afford it. We might as well just talk to everybody and develop our country. Hindi ka nang rin makipag-away, istorya na lang. And I hope the other side would also understand your situation. Maybe if you can make clear to him that this is really what happened, or this is the actual case that we go to court, in all likelihood I will win. But I do not want trouble, so can we have another solution for this?
So you said you're going to create 2 more divisions in the army and then you're going to recruit 3,000 more police.
Correct.
So does it also follow that you will also meddle in the assignment or the deployment of
Wala. Trabaho mo nila yan. Kaya ako nga sila ito si Regulado. Bakit ako nandyan na yan sila? Bakit ako? I cannot tell you the exact, parang purpose of this. But I hope it will not visit us. But I'm just prepared if we have to wage war or
internal security.
lahat. Kasi I pray to God na we do not have to go to war or we have to fight to win a battle, something like that.
Hey, Mayor,
That is to protect the integrity of this republic.
Mayor, gikuha niyo si Nick Paindon to be the in charge of your customs. What made you decide that unsa nakita nimo kay
Honest patriotic. Ako sa tao ko is fear patriotic. You're a nationalist and Your Honor. Those are the best qualities that I'm looking for a Filipino.
Unsa unang gusto nimo buhaton ni Paindon?
Bahala na siya. Basta na customs kuliktam na. Pareho ng pare. Yung bilayar pati customs pareho ng pare. Pare kada linggo lang.
Does the Pinoy government have enough money para sa iyo? Or is it that yes, sir? May natira?
Yan ang problema. Kaya siguro, but this will be honest to us. The one thing that I'm asking from them is we are not going intrude into their territory now. But tell me honestly, huwag mo ako lukuhin pagkatapos lukuhin mo ako, sampalin kita. Huwag mo ako lukuhin, para akong gago. Pag na, makita na, sampal kita. But you have to write, it's not your money. It's money of the people, and I have to manage a country. You must understand that. So wag mo akong, because may mga plano ako, wag mo akong kulahin.
So do you have any figures? How much is left?
Wala nga akong alam eh.
Meron daw sa meron. Basta meron, sir.
So sa MMDA, meron na.
Wala pa.
Sir, there are fees kayo, sir, na kumuha.
Nanirapan ako manood sa traffic. Gusto ko, hirap ako manood sa traffic. Pero I'm looking for something. Ganon rin, tugadi na yan. His recommendation will be vital. Ganon nga eh. Kasi departamento man na yan, kasi we return it to MMDA. It's a separate entity actually, but if you have the whole sense, it should be handled by DPWH.
Sir, what is your policy about the journalist killings that the Aquino government failed to act? The journalist killings.
May isang bago? Alam mo, ganito yan eh. Kung papatayin ka talaga, papatayin ka. There is no way to know that the next victim would be a journalist. Sa karamihan, prangka-prangka, may nagawa yan. Kasi hindi ka naman talaga papatayin dyan kung wala kang ginawa eh. Yung mga expose, bad words against us, wala yan. Ako, mayor ko. Pero karamihan niya may, nabigyan na, tapos especially if you want to take sides. Nabayaran mo na, tapos you claim. Yan ang karamihan na mamatay. Or, tumatanggap na sa mga sugarol, tapos bira pa rin. You really want the truth? Yun ang truth. There is still corruption sa inyong side. Marami yan. Hindi lang ang binibigyan yan, hindi lang ang pulis. Binibigyan yan, yung sipala. Binibigyan yan, kukulikta harap-harapan sabihin, kumilikta kami. Tapos sa kabila, babanatan mo. Yun. That is the best example of bakit namamatay itong mga journalist. Kaya ang prangka-prangka, yan sa iyo. Karamihan ganon. Kasi kung journalist ka lang na tama, wala mong gagalaw sa iyo. Especially if it is true. You cannot hide the truth, by the way. Pero yung gano'n ang example natin dito, taga-rito ka man, yun si Pala. I do not demean his memory, but that he was a rotten son of a bitch. He deserved it. Gano'n eh.
Is that an excuse to kill him, President?
Huh?
I mean, just because a journalist is corrupt or whatever, is that an
Well,
excuse?
that is the reason. You are asking why? That is the reason. Na sinabi mo hindi dapat, you have to debate with the killer, not me, because of course I know who killed him. Kasi binastos niya yung tao. Alam nila, itong alin nyo na saan? Dito yung kanina. Alam niyo alin nyo yan, kung sino? Alin nyo si Tina Honsay, because they were there when umiyak yung tao. Basta yung isa, tapos may isa pa. Ding-ding! All ABS-CBN. Nandoon yun sila nung umiyak yung tao kasi pinat. Huwag ka na. Huwag mo nang sabihin niya. Kasi tatanong kayo kung bakit pinapatay ang Yusuf Trooper ng... Do not make it appear na itong they are clean. But most of you are clean. But do not ever expect that itong mga journalists are all clean. Kaya namamatayan. Sinasabi ko, karamihan yan, nabayaran na. They take sides. O sobrahan nila ang atake. Getting into a personal, hindi lahat ng tao nakakapag. Kami mga politiko, okay yan. Praktisado ka. Pero may mga tao, you go private, tapos siyain mo, yung anak, babuhin mo, papatayan ka talaga. Ganon, hinangin mo eh. Ganon yan. It's not because you're a journalist na ito, you're exempted from assassination.
But sir, it has a
Ang
very...
iyong premise mo kasi, journalist siya, bakit patayin siya? It's all wrong.
But sir, it has a bearing to the freedom of expression.
That's not something you'll violate. Yung freedom of expression cannot help you if you have done something wrong to the guy. Huwag ba ko yung freedom of, do not do not believe so much you swallow it hook, line, and sinker. Alam mo marami dyan na binabayaran pati writers. Alam mo yan. Alam mo kung sino ang mga writers dito nagpoprotekta sa Davao dyan sa Liwalwan. You know who they are. Ikaw, alam mo ba, bakit hindi mo expose? Just because you are a journalist, you are not exempted from assassination. If you are a son of a bitch, sakit ng mga tao. Ako, paano ako praktisado? Harap ka ng sundalo, sabihin mo ang asawa mo kaliwitan ng gano'n. Patay ka. Subukan mo. Hindi na madala ng free speech yan. The Constitution can no longer help you pag binaboy mo ang isang tao. Kaya sabi ko, ni Kasim ba si Pala, nandoon yan sila, marami tago raw.
Besides, Mr. President, the freedom of the press is not absolute.
Yes.
June Pala was a good friend of mine because during the time he was with DXOW, I was with SBN, DX, Channel 7. I already told him that he has exceeded his being. I'm not trying to defend you, Mr. President, because we are very happy that no less than the son of Davao is the President of the Philippines. So let us not consider the incident of June Pala to be a matter that should disturb the thinking of the President.
Wala, because I know. Sabi ko, I could point to you the people who were there that night when the guy cried because, he took the name of the father in vain. Binaboy na, sabi ko, patay ko sa'yo, kalimutan mo na. Ganun talaga yung tao niya. Kaya ako nga, sabi ko, araw-araw.
Sir, question about the recent attacks of NPA against government forces. How are the initial peace talks ongoing, sir?
We hope to arrive at a sort of a truce in the coming days. There's still war going on, and we cannot expect a prim and proper behavior on either side. I cannot tell the army to stop, kasi I cannot also, kasi wala pa naman ako. Mayroon akong moral ascendancies on them. In matters of in the treatment of prisoners. Kasi minsan nagagalit ako, yung namamatay na hindi naman tama sa tingin ko. Kagaya nung NPA, yung granada nilang yung pakibato, di punta, galit na galit ka na, maraming bata tinamaan. So I was fuming mad. And that was the only time na sabi ng NPA, sige Mayor, bayaran na lang namin sila. Oh, believe ako sa inyo ngayon, may compensation system na kayo. Eh, kasama yung pera ninyo, mag-collect ka pa ng taxes. Revolutionary tax.
Mayor, dito sa Davao City, meron kang gentleman's agreement with the NPA, which is not to touch the police.
Yes,
police
correct.
officers.
That is a valid statement.
Are you going to bring it to national level?
Wala na kailangan kasi I have to bring it, yes, in the sense that di na kailangan kasi mag-truce. Dito, early on, yung mayorship ko, magulo talaga. Pinapatay ng NPA yung mga sundalo. We lose something like 3 or 4 policemen, soldiers a day. So, pinakausapan ko sila, umalis kayo dito. Kasi nakala ko ba kaibigan tayo. Umalis kayo dito because I cannot move and I hold it as an article of faith that no progress or development could come to a city, a province, if there is no law and order.
Mayor, dun po sa nangyari sa Governor Generoso, nag-reach out na po ba sa inyo ang NPA?
Yes, kausap ko na si Queen. Sabi niya, bago lang yung encounter. Right after, tinawagan ko, ano bang nakain mo? Sabi ko, we're here, we're trying to figure out how to stop violence. Sabi na, hindi pa niya alam, so no. Kaya mag-investigar pa siya. But he is the commander of the Queen.
So, meron ka na namang kukunin na police sa Bukid?
Yes, I will go there to retrieve.
Will your PSG allow you?
Magsama sila kung gusto nila. Pero actually, kung magpunta ako sa Bukid, short arms lang, pagkasama ko, I mean, if you're part of my entourage, Sport lang naman. Bakit small time mo, ulihin mo yung... Ano ng mga polis? Kita mo yan sila. Sanay na yan. Magpa-picture pa mga buang sa mga babae na Amazona.
Sir, pardon me for asking or for pushing this issue a little bit further, but you mentioned a while ago that you're not going to give Lenny any position because Bongbong Marcos is your friend and his father used to be a cabinet. Your father.
Political alliances.
Yes, sir. But where is now the healing and reconciliation that you promised?
It need not come from an appointment for sure. Don't be silly.
But you said, sir, that your relationship with her is going to be just like ice?
Well, in the sense that I said, you know, hindi lang ang papa ko kaibigan. Let me just go back into time. At that time, lahat na, as is the behavior of politicians. Yung presidente si Macapagal, everybody went to the Liberal Party. There were only 2 governors in Mindanao na nagpaiwan na nasyonalista. Governor Ibarre, pati tatay ko. So nung nanalo sila, bit-bit ni Marcos ang tatay ko sa ako. And yet a long liaison sa political. Ngayon ito si Bongbong, alam ko talaga, pati si Mrs. Marcos, alam ko talaga mag-Duterte, no doubt about it. Ako lang nakaalam noon na may there's a certain bond between me and Bongbong. Yan ang totoo dyan. Kaya nga, kita mo sa Ilocos, but in Bicol, not because, I will not appoint, no, it's not because I won, I lost there that hindi ko i-appoint. So when you win, hindi naman ako makapagtakbo na. So 1 term straight. I was only number 3. I was doing poorly sa Bicol. It was Mar, Binay, and number 4 ka ata ako. Sa 4 ako ang... So yun ang ano dyan. I'm talking about political alliances. I'm not talking about vote or the Filipino people.
So if it's not going to be through appointment, how then will you show your reconciliation or healing in terms of dealing with
reconciliation,
Lenny
kasi hindi man kami nag-away. Not even an exchange of, you know, yung tao na inadapt nila, the mad dog, Trillanes, yun ang nagdaldal para sa kanila, para kay Grace. Tapos eventually lumipat kay Mar ang buang. Hindi naman yun, spirit of scrupulous.
Besides, Mr. President, we respect you as a genius president. Do not, this is only personal, appoint Lenny Robredo in your cabinet because she is like an angel. She is like a devil, close like an angel. Because you must understand, during the last administration, Binay and Pinoy were friends. So he appointed Binay as the secretary of, what is this, no? Thinking that Binay will always be beholden to the president. At the last hour, he ran against the president. We would not like to imagine, Mr. President, that we, the people of Davao, you will appoint the likes of... Yes, Mr. President, I would just like to answer. I mean, to continue, because... So the question, Mr. President, are you really willing to appoint her in your cabinet?
There is no compelling reason for me to accommodate the Vice President. I'm sorry. I've said that I have to take into account not only yung ngayon na magkaiba ang partido namin. I said the political alliances between me, between my family and the family of Bongbong. Right in the beginning, alam ko, paski na hindi ko siya kandidato, Duterte talaga sila. And it was Mrs. Marcos who insisted on it. Alam niya yung history. Pumupunta siya. Live ba to? Bakit? Bakit mo pinili sa iba mga tinuro ko sa simod ko? Yung ano siya o si...
Mr. President. Mr. President. Hello. Mr. President.
Yes.
You promised
Carol,
in 3 to
how
6
is the
months.
National Democratic Front to have it?
Mr. Mayor, you promised that you will end criminality in 3 to 6 months. What are the Filipino people going to expect within the first month of the Duterte presidency? What changes are we going to feel?
That not all crimes are really adultery. Bakbaka dito kasi yan, ano ka ng ibang asawa. Yung mga sabunutan, physical injury. Hindi, those are ordinary crimes. When I said I'm going to suppress the drug problem, yung wala nang magpo-push dyan sa streets, wala nang drug lords, at lahat yan nasa munting lupa, kung nakakaintindi, nanonood yan sila ng TV. Bantay kayo. Bantay kayo sa akin. Basta pagka magloko-loko sa pagpasok ng shop niyan, ayaw ko nang makita pa nakatindig isa. Totoo. Pag yung swerte ninyo, you post it too far, tapos nakakalalaki kayo, tingin ninyo sa amin, itsugin, pag naipasok yung makapasok yung mga sapo, sundalo, wala akong gustong nakakita nakatindig sa inyo. Yan talaga ang totoo. Prangka nationwide yan. Sabihin ko talaga sa SAP, I do not want to see anybody standing there. Huwag ninyo akong mama. Do not do anything from now on would agitate. Kasi baka abutan ko kayo. Pag maabutan ko kayo, malas talaga kayo lahat. Wala akong pakialam dyan sa... Upos kayo. Bakit ako magpakain sa inyo kung gano'n ang ginagawa ninyo sa amin? Nagninegosyo. Look, kung nandyan ako sa presuhan namin, matagal naman kasi yan eh. Panahon pa ni Dilima yan, I warned her, because take care of your own backyard, because there's shabu being cooked there. Hindi wala. Pero kami ba, huwag ninyo kaming problemahin. Huwag naman akong pahihay. Presidente ako. May jail ako dito. Na nakakalabas kayo. Huwag kayo ng babae. Nag-good time kayo. Nakainom kayo. May baril pa kayo. Nagluluto pa kayo ng shabu. Hindi na pwedeng magkura kasi malapit na inauguration. Ganun talaga. Ladies and gentlemen, the prisoners of Muntinlupa, I'd like to greet you a good day. But there is one thing I ask of you, and that is, I'm just talking just like your amo before. So, English spoken, my department is good, but itong English ko, Filipino talaga. I don't want to pronounce it with it wrong.
Mr. President, you have a predominantly male cabinet. You only have 2 women in there. Will the next appointees be women? And you said inclusive. Will there be cabinet members from the Moro and the Lumad?
Yes.
And the Lumad?
There will be Moro, yeah.
What cabinet
There's
positions
an
are
officer running the show for the Lumad. They will get it. They will get it. I know, pero lahat. Ang Moro kasi is more of, baka utilize ko sila to the fullest sa aking foreign affairs. There's a problem with itong ating domestic helpers. Ako, I do not want to talk about it because I do not want to put somebody to stand. But there's a problem with sa kultura. So, sa kultura talaga nila yan. And the Filipina or our citizens who go there must know the stakes. Mayroon ibang ano doon, and these are the things I would like. So, One is Mamao. Marami yan. I want to send Imoro who could be understood by the Riyadh government. But anyway, we have to talk about this problems sa domestic helpers tapos yung kultura ng Arabo, which is which now. Because they should go there knowing that one day they would really get raped. Parang ganon yan eh. Bisil ang kultura kasi ng Arabo, if you are paid, whether you are sold from the slave markets of Africa or you are paid day to day, still the same, you are a property. You are not looked upon as a slavery talaga. So that's the culture. Wala tayong magawa. And that was what I was told when I was there. I went there to save two Filipina girls from Turil who were caught by the religious police for bibigay ng rosariwan. I had to go to Riyadh, but I invited along with me si Salupudin, itong si Dilanggaling, and another one. Tatlo sila. Nakiusap ako. But then after that, I was lectured upon by a member of the parliament about the Arab culture. So dapat malaman talaga ito na kaya someday sana, sabi nga nila nakakaawa na it breaks my heart to read na sana magbago na ang bayan natin, Mayor, para makauwi na kami. It hurts a lot. It hurts a lot.
Last na lang po, you're inheriting peace processes that are both on their implementation phases. The peace agreement with the MNLF and the peace agreement with the MILF.
It will proceed.
Yeah. A clarification lang because there have been confusing messages from Speaker Presumptive Speaker Alvarez that Congress will do away with the BBL in favor of federalism. But in your campaign speeches and in your visit to Darapanan, you said, let's push for BBL first and make it as a template for federalism?
Ganito yan eh. Federalism would recognize the territory you are in now. Ang sabi lang, what Alvarez meant was that we will not adapt the BBL to the exclusion of others. Meaning to say that I'm willing to let go of the configuration. Now, yung boundaries nila, okay na. But we have to reconfigure the others also. What's supposed to be done there is supposed to be done. Yan ibig liberally construed, it means kasali ka na bigger network, yung federalism. So it will not stand out as a BBL law. It would stand out as a part of a federal setup. Yun ang ibig sabihin na. I'm sorry, he could not have misconstrued that thing.
So you will be pursuing federalism and shelf BBL because there is an agreement, comprehensive agreement.
Yeah, hindi na gagalawin eh. But it would not be, I said, a BBL law agreement, a sort of a BBL law. It will be a result of the adoption of a federal setup. Ako, I am willing to stand by yung anong pinirmahan ng ating Congress, or at least what they are trying to push. And if you push further, we will all go hungry and maybe I will suffer a stroke and cannot arrive at the day of denegation kasi gutom na, wala ng pagkain.
Is considered a fugitive as of now. Is your government going to have the cases against Ms. Wari reinvestigated?
Walang peace agreement na would result in that. It's always amnesty. Pero itong mga Abu Sayyaf, they have to surrender and release all hostages. Now, depende na lang kila Doresa yan, pati kay Bebot, kung paano nila, how they would treat this, whether as a separate matter in the entire context of the agreement. Because itong mga to na radicalize also because of the repeated failure of sila pati both na to come up with a system that would work. That's why they are there fighting. Yes, okay lang, nag-order na ako ng breakfast. Siguro mga 6 o'clock.
Meron na po kayong guidelines o marching orders kay Secretary Duterte tungkol dun sa campaign promise nyo na yung ENDO or as Tony Dominguez says, decontractualization.
Tapos na pinag-usapan. Sinabi ko, it must end by legislation.
So ano po ang order nyo kay Bello ngayon? Gawin na? Paano po kung natagalan na?
We should go to Congress. Anti-people yung, I would never have allowed that. You know, you're putting to waste our expenses for test that. We're trying to train these guys to be experts in their fields of endeavor. Carpentry. He gets a lot of advice there. Tapos ilagyan mo na ng 6 months. Tapos he transfer to another job and it's driving a truck. So, paano yung test na? And how would they learn the expertise of being an electrician, a driver? Wala. So he's at the mercy of iba kasi wala siyang, even if he goes abroad. And you would read it there in the newspapers that experience 3 years. Eh, paano yung Pilipino pag gano'n mo? Kaya ako hindi ko napantayan yan. Pero I will never allow anti-people.
Mayor, could you think, meron na po kayong Defense Secretary po ngayon. Ano po ang magiging polisiya na pagdating sa K-12?
I have to talk. We have to talk. Wala pa. There's a prospect, but we have to talk.
Sa Defense, sir, si Ma'am Briones po, ano po yung magiging usapan niyo pagdating na sa K-12 program?
Sus Maria Josep. Kaya ko kinuha siya. The problem seems to be insurmountable because that is the, you know, when you get to run something, yung repercussions, yung projection mo na ito yung mangyari. Kaya kung magtanong ko, anong mangyari dito? Makatapos ano pa dito? Eh, paano to? Ganon eh. Yeah, there is now the aberration. There is a disruption sa system because mayroong mga teacher na hindi na tao. I will not allow them to go hungry. You'll have to sacrifice paying them. Kaya sabi ko, diretsoy na lang sa those who want to, we have to solve the, it has to be fixed. So the best solution there will be adopted. I want to defer to the Secretary of Education. Secretary of Health, wala pa. At kumpleto na tayo nga.
Sir, how about TESDA? Kung meron na kayong...
Wala pa. Wala pa.
Sir, baka yung mga undocumented OFW sa Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, ano po ang magiging polisiya po?
You will help them get the proper status. I will ask the Arab countries to be more circumspect in arriving at, lalo na sa atin. Eh, mahirap lang tayo, but they must understand that there are things that they have to respect, and that is dignity of the Filipino. That we are not exporting their horse, we're exporting decent people to earn.
On the airline industry, Mr. President, we would like to ask if you are willing to transfer the NAIA to Clark, considering that this is really a headache for Filipino travelers if they go to the airport. Heavy traffic, delayed flights.
I will go by the recommendation of the DOTC. He will solve that problem for us. That's why I got him.
Mayor, good evening. Mayor, you promised you'll find time to talk with Noor. How is it? And kasali po ba sa pag-uusapan nyo kung sino yung i-appoint from tomorrow?
Sa ano, ma'am?
Noor Miswani po. You promised you'll find time to talk with him.
Yeah.
Last time, yung sa Samandaya po.
Ano?
Sabi mo po, you'll find time to talk with Nur, Miss Juan.
Miss Juan.
Yes po.
Inor, yeah. Kasi different that they was. Now, alam mo, the first day, I even stayed 21 hours. Kinapagabi, kinaumagahan pa. Just to accommodate everybody. But different that maybe they didn't have the time, or they were there, and they were not properly placed in the conveyor kung sino mauna. That differs na. Sabi ko, well, I'm sorry, it was not intended. There's really indeed there's one. But to make it happen, in the name of peace, I'll go there solo and talk to him.
Kasali po ba sa pag-uusapan niyo po, sir, yung about sa cabinet secretaries po na Moros?
No, wala-walayo yan. Except masatuloy yung how to go about solving ito kabusaya and getting released all of the prisoners there.
When are you going to require your cabinet members to wear
Dilan sila plates, wala na kami. I have
kasi naka-plate si ang PSD, baka yung plate na rin.
wala na. Itong the law number, and I said from here on, lahat ng taga-gobyerno, lahat, without exception, ayaw ko itong mga congressman, itong sa akin lang, executive department, lahat must try the economy, even if they can afford it. Kasi ang tao, sabi nila, kakalahati, amin yan eh. At kami kasi doble. So kung ano ka, sabi mo, dagdag lang ako, it will not sit well with people. Ano lang kami, economy ngayon. Lahat ng travels namin, economy na. Board, whatever, cabinet member, board member.
May ano lang ako question on them wearing plain shirts in last statue.
No, I'd rather that they wear a insignia of the Philippine flag. Bakit ba lang yan? Ano yung tanong na security guard? Buwag.
Excuse me, sir.
Mayor, ito na ba yung magiging Malacanang office?
No, just borrowed it for the moment.
Pero saan?
Ah? No, pagka nandito ako, walang Malacanang. I can receive you in the house or wherever. Doon sa bahay ko. Malacanang. Ibang puno yan. Doon nakatira yung lahat ng ungo dito, multo sa Pilipinas, nandiyan lahat.
So yung money bounty for the capture and killing of drug lords, all those involved in drugs, kailan po yan mag-start? At ano po yung...
Now! Sige, sulatan mo din na.
Sir, may responsible pa kayo sa Chinese President Xi Jinping.
Again?
He sent you a message, Chinese President Xi Jinping congratulating you. May responsible pa kayo.
Hindi kita na po.
Response to Xi Jinping.
Alam ako ha, the reason why nagkaganon ako is I'm pushing my thumb against me. Kasi yung pagka-disgrasya ko sa motor, but when I was 67 years old, created two issues dito sa spine ko. Kaya dinidiin ko to ganon ako kasi I'm pushing behind the ear. Kasi ito may balik na noon, simplang rin. Tapos na ulit. Kaya hard ako sa hearing dito.
Sir, my question was kung may response po kayo dun sa message ni Chinese President Xi Jinping congratulating you.
I was honored receiving a congratulatory message from a great President, the Prime Minister. Believe ako sa kanya kasi naalaala niya ako.
Sir, will be pushed for bilateral talks with China?
Well, I said we are allied with the West. We have this pact with the West. But I want everybody to know that we will be chartering a course of our own. It will not be dependent sa America, and it will be a line that is not intended to please anybody, but the Filipino interest.
Sa China, sir, what will be the picture for in terms of relationship with China in terms of investments.
Look, I'm waiting for this arbitration solution. It will impact on us in so many fronts. Business, whatever the relationship, bilateral. Hintayin ko muna ito, then if with the advice of the cabinet, I might be able to proceed. But you know, I am not ready to go to war. It will just result in a massacre. We are not prepared. We are prepared to die, but we are not prepared to win, definitely. And ang ano ko dyan is ang battlefield is the Republic of the Philippines.
The President
Kaya
will,
dyan ako mahintay. Yung Palawan would be the first to be hit.
When are you going to hold the next
When you are already done, all of you.
the President will respond to the last two questions. Yes.
Sir, in the context of the prohibitions and the 3,000 new policemen, sir, you said, I hope it will not visit us. Can you elaborate on that?
No, that will be a contingency. I have a certain purpose for them. It will to meet to a contingency that would require the warm bodies of the Republic.
What will not visit us?
I am going, whether or not the danger is there, I will proceed with the kulang mo rin tayo talaga ng police. And itong isa o dalawang, it would make the nation very stable already. No, as of now, no. Anyway, that mas mabuti na yung nasubrahan ko yung preparation rather than be caught unprepared. But these people would be, I said, to help protect the integrity of the Filipino nation.
Okay.
Hello sir,
Last question.
Pahapon lang sir, sino na po ang napipili niyo na maging Bureau Chief, lalo't doon sa national and yung investigations medyo mainit yung tungkol sa illegal na droga. Kung may napili na DTI sir.
Ano pa ako sa yung pinakamahusay na machine gunner ng Army pati Police. Ay, letsing yan. Huwag talaga nila, huwag ninyo akong, pag nag-presidente ako, lumuhod kayo yan. Lahat, pagka nakatindig kayo, tapos kayo. Pagka pumasok, ang pinapasok ko ang SAP dyan, I said, I do not want anybody standing.
Sir, sa DTI sir, kung meron na po kayong napili at kung sino na po ang magiging First Lady.
And, DTI nandiyan na, saan ba yun? Kausapin ko pa. Diyan sa loob.
Alright, we're ending the press conference. Thank you very much. Oh, sige, last.
First Lady.
First Lady daw.
Sige, First Lady, mag-rappel na lang kayo. Sige na.
Request daw po may SSS pension ng mga seniors, lalo pa ngayon.
Yes, I will increase it. Kasi yung alam mo, dapat binigay yan. Because kasi while we are able-bodied, younger days, we can work. We give our money retained so that we'll have something to go by. Ngayon, kung ang medisina ngayon, if you only have about 2,000, what can you buy? Even po yung mga high blood, diabetes, heart, maintenance. Pagka pumasok na kasi ang 65, 50, 65, pasok na tagal lahat yan. So it would be stupid for somebody, again, to tell me how is your health. Kasi anong kinimatay ng lulo mo? Already, yun ang sakit ko. Ano pa? Anong kinamatay ng dengue? Ayun ang akin. At 70 years old, I'm vulnerable to any... mahina lang. But I said, if you want, you can... I can do the treadmill 2 hours. Yan yung pag-ibang ko. Oh, possible. Kasi namon ko kayo. Kaya ko talaga.
When it comes to the increase in detention, that means you have to go through the whole process. bukas sa Congress for that, or what?
What are you talking about, Regalado? I cannot understand you, goddammit.
Yung SSS para pension hike, diba?
No,
So how do you
no.
know about it?
Wala na, I do not think it's just like the consent of the President being the chief. They can do it on their own. Yung agency ng mga SSS. Isa pa rin yan, ha? GSIS, but why do you look so bright? Askance, bakit na? You feel being askance. Kaya nga,
Wala, I was just thinking of something.
boyfriend mo, good for you.
Alright.
Yung GSIS, isa rin yan. Ganito yan pati SSS, makinig kayo. Ang sama ng loob ko sa inyo, ganito. I am a mayor of a city where people would go to my office to complain. Sometimes yung SSS, pati GSIS, nagpa-follow up yan sila. And ang minsan binibigay nila yung pension sa ibang tao. And when you are confronted na may namatay na, doon pa ninyo malaman and you try to correct it. Kayo yung nagkamali, kayo yung tapos it takes you about 2 years to process it. My God, do not do it. Patay kasi pagkatapos, ready na yung pension, ibinigay ulit because corrected na ang mistake. Ang magdatan doon, anak na naman kasi yung nanay niya na patay na. Waiting until kingdom come. Nagtataka ako dyan, kayong lahat nakikinig ha, Social Security or GSIS. Pagka nadeposituhan mo yan, wala kang ginawa all these years. May mga racket dyan. Kahit kunin nila yung number mo, tapos maghiram ng pera. Kaya pag pension time, pagpunta mo matanda ka naman mo, minus ito sa inutang mo, magtaka ka tuloy. Anong utang ko? Yan ang problema sa inyo. So yan ang mistake ninyo. Yan ang i-correct ninyo. Ang sinasabi ko, 1 month, 5 signatures. Not more than 5 signatures. Gaya ng NEDA 48 signatures, that's bullshit. Why you reconfigure how you go about signing the paper there. 5 signatures, 1 month. SSS, GSIS, correction kaagad. Ora mismo, correct it para hindi na mahirapan ang... And also for the police, I'm warning you, there are so many undertones there. Kasi yung mga byuda, o yung mga nanay, o byuda, pupunta din dyan sa krami to follow up. Tapos, kahintay, minsan nabubuntis na lang, naubos na yung pera. Ganon kayo eh. Nga ganito, bakit pa ba ang byuda magpunta pa sa krami para kunin ng pera, namatay na yung mama sa pano? Siya, magpunta lang sa regional office dito, merong regions. Alam na ninyo na matay ang problema na yan. Bakit pa ba magsabit sila ng death certificate? Kayo na ang mag-produce, i-process ninyo the number of years that the soldiers have served this country. Tapos i-compute na ninyo sa region. Akala ko nga may computer. Gamitin ninyo yung computer. Anak ka ng... I do not want to see a widow going there sa krami. Wag, kayo na mismo, create an office there to take care of the worries of the relatives of the deceased. Bakit pa mag-process pa ang mga byuda? Maubos ang pera, saan magtira, tapos Sam, I said, nabubuntis dyan sa inyo. Ako, mahilig ang laro natin purahin inyo, kababuyan yung utang ina yun. Ito ano niya. Stop it! Lahat. Dito na ang processing where you are. Region 11, Region 12. I'll give you 1 month. 5 signatures. All. Office of the President, ganun rin. Sunod yan, including the local government officials. Dito sa government officials, I will be interested to sisilipin ko yung that thing. Especially the intelligence fund, Bagay dito, wala ko silang... Sisilipin ko yan, tapos minsan. Sisilipin ko yan.
Alright.
Yan ang pag malakas na racket, diretso sa bulsa.
We are now ending the press conference. Thank you very much for your presence. Good evening.
Siya man yun, di man ako.